Hey, what's up guys? Now it's been a year already since I got my hands on the Sony A6700. Now this camera came out, last summer, but it's been a year. So I thought this would be a great time to kind of check in with you guys and let you know my thoughts on the Sony A6700. So at this point, you're probably wondering if it's still worth picking up. Is this camera a great buy even right now? So as of right now, this mini beast can be had in the US for around $1,400. And honestly, one of the main reasons why I picked up this camera was the fact that it's an amazing hybrid camera. It's designed for photography and videography, and that made it perfect for me, right? As a photographer, a YouTuber, or content creator, I wanted a camera that I could just dedicate to creating, a camera that could do it all, so to speak, right? And because it's an APS-C camera, I also knew that I wouldn't have to go out and spend a ton of money on lenses and things like that. Also, the fact that this camera sports the exact same sensor as a Sony FX30, that was a huge plus for me when I was looking to actually step up my game when it came down to, my videos as well. So all around, that was kind of like a win-win. Now let's talk about something else that really matters, right? And that's of course gonna be performance, right? Image quality, video performance, all that, right? Now, this camera has a 26 megapixel sensor, right? And that's more than enough to capture, really beautiful images. Here are a few images that I captured, when I was out in DC. As you can see, the photos are great, right? But this camera overall, it's great for portraits as well. I don't have a lot of portrait photos to show you because when I'm doing paid work, I'm really just picking my full frame cameras up for that because I have dual card slots and I just don't want to risk that when I'm getting paid. But where this camera really shines is when it comes down to video. This camera can shoot 4K video that's downsampled from 6K. It can shoot 4:2 10-bit videos as well, and you can even shoot 4K video up to 120p. Now, there is a crop when you do that, but you can shoot up to 60p without a crop. So that's actually really good. And one of the other features that I really love about this camera too is that you can shoot in S-Log3, S-Cinetone. There's other picture profiles you can pick from. It has active stabilization, it's auto framing. It's just amazing, honestly. And I've been using the Sony A6700 for many of my YouTube videos. I've recorded some TikTok videos as well. And I've really just have been blown away by how crispy the video is. I know that's probably because it's been downsampled from 6K, but it just looks really, really good compared to some other 4K footage that I've had in the past. The autofocus for both photo and video is really, really impressive as well. And for me, I don't really honestly have a lot of cons, when it comes down to this camera. I mean, sure, I wish it could do 4K 120p without a crop, but I mean, do I really? Do I? Because it's just not something that I really see myself needing a lot. It's not something that I use a lot. It does have a mini HDMI port, which I guess they could have made that a full size one, but I typically, use this with my small rig cage, and it has an HDMI clamp that keeps the cord in place. So I'm not really concerned or worried about damaging the port when it comes down to that either. So not huge cons for me, honestly. So who is this camera really best for then, right? Now this camera is gonna be perfect for beginner photographers because it's gonna allow them to take some amazing photos and also, grow in, building your photography skills as well. This camera is really amazing and it performs, well in all conditions that I've been able to shoot it in. I do think the price point of $1,400 can be a bit steep for a lot of beginner photographers. So I'm definitely not gonna act like it's not expensive, but I do think that it's probably gonna be worth it in the long term, especially if you plan on keeping this camera for at least a couple years as well. And one of the other reasons that I think this camera is gonna be a great buy for photographers as well is that this is a Sony APS-C camera, and I emphasized Sony because Sony has not shied away from working with third-party lens manufacturers, which means that you have access to a wider range of lenses, right? From like Sigma or Tamron and other, lens manufacturers as well. And that means that you're not locked in having to only buy Sony lenses, which, as you guys know, are going to be way more expensive as well. And the fact that this is an APS-C camera means that you're not having to spend the money that it costs to buy a full frame sensor lens, right? You can buy lenses that are going to be far less expensive that have great quality as well. And that's going to also allow you to buy different lenses, learn how to use the camera, learn photography, without having to really spend a whole lot of money, right? And even if you were able to go out and grab an older full frame camera, you still would have to go out and buy those expensive full frame lenses. So this is a great buy from that perspective. Secondly, this camera is perfect for anyone who is a hybrid shooter, somebody who needs to capture, you know, amazing stills, great high quality video. This is going to be a great option as well. But I will say, if you're somebody who is a videographer first and then a photographer second, I have to say that a better option is probably going to be the Sony FX30. Again, it's the same sensor, the body is different, it has better ergonomics that's, you know, geared towards video, and also has some other, you know, features as well that you're not going to get in this camera. But it's just going to be better overall if that's kind of like how you plan to use it. It is a little bit more expensive. I think it's about a couple $100s more, but it's definitely well worth it. And if you need to snap photos, you know, here and there, you still can do that with the FX30, but it's just more geared towards video. So who is this camera not for? Now, if you're somebody who is taking on client work or paid work on, you know, a consistent basis, whether it's photo or video, I would say that this definitely would not be the best option for you. I mean, you're gonna want to, you know, step up and get a different camera, like I said, like the FX30, or a camera that is full frame, or just a camera that has dual card slots that's going to allow you to really make sure that you're minimizing risk when you're taking on that client work, because you just can't risk just having one card slot. What if something happens, right? Also, another, you know, setup is going to allow you to rig it out and kind of, you know, really set yourself up to actually do video the best way possible with your monitors and all the things that you're going to want. Again, another camera is probably going to be a better option for you. So is this camera still worth buying in 2024? We're here again, moving into 2025. Absolutely. This camera is going to be phenomenal if you're a beginner photographer, a hybrid shooter. Honestly, you can't go wrong. It's just an amazing camera. Like I said, I don't really have many cons. So if you are somebody who's on the fence, I'd say definitely go out and grab yourself a Sony A6700. You're gonna be, you know, super happy. Now, I hope you found this video to be helpful, and if you have, definitely leave me a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel for more videos just like this one. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.